Me and Miss Carrie don't talk. Me and Miss Carrie don't talk. This is the reason why. Me get one scary. He good for throw away. Me get one dog puppy. More better than he. Me get one scary. She good for throw away. Me get one dog puppy. More better than she. Yeah, remember that? That is a little ditty that people sang in the village where we talk about friendship, lost and found. Today we're going to talk about the games we played or do not play again. Hello and welcome. This is What the Stories Say with me, Pauline Baird from the village of Buxton, Guyana. Whew, it's hot up in here. It's raining outside, but the heat is on. This is not the menopause heat, people. This is the natural heat from outside. This is summer coming. And here is my little wallet. I'm Guyanese from the village of Buxton, Guyana. And I tell our stories, our family histories, our whispered stories, our long lost and sometimes forgotten traditions. And like we say in the village, come in, sit down, and what the stories say. You have story, I have story. So I welcome you. You are all over the world, on Facebook 5,000 strong and over, on YouTube almost 700. We doing the do. Click the button, like, follow, subscribe, comment. So, what do I have for you today? Do you know what this is? Those of you who follow me when I do my live, when I'm walking, you know what this is. This is the flower of an onion plant. Isn't it pretty? This is onion, people. I got it from a Yama grandmother. You see, I live in Japan and I walk the streets in Japan to exercise every day. And I run into the Yama grandmothers. The Yama means mountain. I live in the mountains. And the grandmas over here are called Obachang. So I would run into the Yama Obachang. And one of them I ran into, who's my friend, her name is Tamaki-san. And she plants this garden that is very, very rustic. I really admire it. And she was planting onions. And one morning I talked with her and she gave me these 2 onion flowers. So awesome. I'm so grateful. You know, when you walk and you meet people, it just makes your day. So I live for that. Yep, just a little aside. Okay. And I'm wearing today Dara Dara. This Dara is my sister. She makes this kind of jewelry and she makes linen clothing. She's in Antigua, an entrepreneur. Check her out on daradara.handmade on Instagram. She makes clothing and linen. She covers all the lumps and bumps, my people. She got you covered, especially if you're a woman of a particular age, or if you're a guy with a woman of a particular age. Go get it. Cover all the cracks, lumps, and bumps, and still put you out fine. Yes. And this top here, well, I'm wearing an Angie James. Who know? Yeah, it's a magic poem. Yes. Anywho, I'm here today, and I'm so happy to bring you these stories. I tell these stories because I want our stories to be recorded. So when our children come looking for us, they get to learn who we were. And you know that sometimes children believe that we never had play days, you know? Yeah. They think we born big. And nothing was fun because they think everything is behind a screen. That's their life. So we got to tell them and show out ourselves and show our lives to them that we had play days. So I want to talk about the games and the things we don't play anymore or we used to play. Me and Miss Carrie don't talk. Me and Miss Carrie don't talk. This is the reason why. You know that? Scary. Scary is your enemy. The person that you stop talk to or they stop talk to you. And your scary is a small day's enemy. I don't think people that said I get scary. With young people, children and stuff, but scary is a playground word. It's a Guyanese word, especially used in the countryside or the village. That is what I'm interested in, and that's what I study. Me get one scary, he fit for throw away. Me get one dog puppy, more better than he. Me get one scary, she good for throw away. Me get one dog puppy, more better than she. That is what children used to sing on the playground. All in Roman Catholic school, St. Anthony's RC. Them Andrews girl know. Cherry Glen all know. Them used to sing it. Methodist school? Yes. Anglican school? Yes. We used to sing that song. Yeah. Children make it up on the playground. So today, why am I bringing you these stories? I want to talk about something deeper. We want to talk about how primary groups are formed in childhood, how they dissolve, and how they come together, and some of the rituals, because these rituals show you the early stages of how social control happens, how domination happens, how people find alliances and allies in childhood. So let's get into it. So I'm going to consult my notes. I tend to make notes sometimes. So if you see me looking here, that's what it is. So making friends and losing friends is a real thing in village life. The rituals show the complexity, the turbulence, and even the humor of it all. It plays out in village life, in the games and the negotiations that we partake in. And many of us would have had this, even if you didn't participate. Sometimes you were onlookers and you saw what was happening. So the first one I want to talk about this week, for this month, is courting for friendship. Courting for friendship. Now, we know in social life that people form primary groups just naturally. A group of people get together, and some people going to gravitate naturally to some people, and some people won't. No harm in that. It's just human nature. And the thing about that, though, the primary groups tend to dissolve and change and morph. So today, you have two people, bosom friends, as we say, or besties, and tomorrow they're not. It's natural. People shift and change. And that happens on the playground too. They just don't grow up and become that. It happens there. So one of the ways people found friendship back in the day, they sought friendships. That's a big marker. To be a friend, you gotta seek friends. So if you liked somebody, to be a friend and you were cool, you would go over and say, let me cut in for friendship. And when you're cutting for friendship, you got to take your little finger, this pinky finger, and hook it to the person's finger, and then you're cutting for friendship. It's a pact. You make a pact for friendship. Do people do that nowadays? I don't know. Because I asked a young woman, who must be 20 years or so younger than me, and she never heard some of these things that I'm going to talk about. When you're cutting for friendship, what does that mean? It means that you and this person are best friends. Yeah, besties. That means you're going to eat together, you're going to talk story together, you talk name together. You walk from home to school together, and sometimes you walk back. You even get detention together. Yes. So when I was a kid or high schooler, I would walk from Buxton to Bladen Hall, Multilateral School, with my friends. Those are my friends that maybe I cut in. I don't remember in high school if I did cut in, but elementary school, yes. You walk in, me and my friend Sylvie Landon, we walk from back down side to Anglican school. You see, on the way there, we eat Miss Graves and the guava. Mind you, we prepare for getting the guava. We took the guava, wink wink, out of the yard because we follow some goats. The goats, they make a track through the razor grass. And we used to want to know how them goats get in there. Well, we discovered the razor grass had some big hole that the goat them went in. So we went in after the goat them and we go in there. But the point is, we did things together. So Sylvie would get the matchbox with the salt and pepper, and we gone and get Miss Graves and the guava, and we eating all the way. Because, of course, you sweat. And you got to put back the salt. It's a good reason. So that's how friendships played out. What else was involved in this friendship? When you got a friend that you cut in for the friendship for, you now cannot have another best friend. That is your best friend for you. So it's a lot of selfishness there and advocacy for your own self. Yes. And your own social needs. So don't dare go and take on somebody else as your best friend. That don't work. You and this person together. Sometimes when people cut in for friendship, you might get a throuple. You get 3 people in this thing together, but so they get a group. But you got to pledge allegiance to them. You called upon, you're there. And let me tell you something. Don't bother think, say, the girl over there, who's the enemy to me friend, gonna be my friend? Tal. Not at all. If that person is me best friend enemy, is my enemy too. Yes. So, what else happens? You share notes at school. You talk after school, holiday time. You can't wait to get back together. All those things come together when you're cut in for friendship. Notice also, cutting in for friendship is an agreement. It's a pact. It's a pact. So, when you have a pact and the pact is to be broken, you got to have another ritual to do that. Well, what does make pact get broken? Like I said, going and being with somebody else as a friend, or doing something wrong to your friend that they didn't like, and so they decide that this pact got to break. Now, I'm not sure about the order. You got to set it right, but I know that you just cut out. Just like you're cut in, you got to cut out, but you cut out this way. You take your thumb and the person's thumb and you pull it. Can you imagine? Can you imagine the negotiation there? Yes, there might be anger, but they have the presence of mind to have an official ending. So you still have an agreement. We're going to part ways. And you now got to go and subscribe to this new reality of a broken friendship. Like marriage and divorce. While you're married, you got to go sign paper. You divorce, you got to sign paper. You got to agree. And listen, it shows like a mirroring of society. From young days, who taught us that? I have no idea. Maybe it's something that passed down from the older kids. I have no idea. If y'all know, y'all tell me. When there's a cutting out and you're bereft of a friend, you lost your confidant, there's a hole there. But this thing gets ugly. It just doesn't stay that way sometimes. It can get very ugly. Yes. And there are feelings of jealousy and, loss of control. And there comes manipulation, where you're going to now try to put this former friend, which is now, get a new terminology, scary. You become scary now when you start to do things or you just regard this person as other, no longer your friend, and somebody to be derided and to put down, right? So what they would do is act out. So if you see this person and you ask them, you and she not friend no more? Nah, me and she cut out. You say, like me, like them do not talk no more. Say, yeah, girl, them stop talk. He stop talk to she, or she stop talk to he. So one of the markers of scary, when you become a scary person, or one of the markers of scary allergy, is that you stop talk. In scary allergy, you just say it this way: me stop talk to she, me stop talk to he, or he stop talk to me stop talk to she. We don't cut out. That's part of scary allergy. Then you're going to say, because remember, you got to deride this person. You got to make them know that I too was scary, because other people watching on. So when you see you scary, you start to sing, me get one scary, she good for throwaway, me get one dog puppy, more better than she. Like throwing hint. Big people just throw hint, but this little picture there, ugly, ugly. That's what I say. That's part of scary allergy. You got to sing it. And then people will ask you, is what going on? Is what really wrong? What's going on with you? Me and Miss Scary don't talk. Me and Miss Scary don't talk. This is the reason why. Yes, it all them action that And let me tell you, sometimes when you see you walking, you're wearing school uniform, you get scared, especially the girls. You walk in scared. You're flaring up your skirt. Me and my scary don't talk. Me and my scary don't talk. Yes, you're walking up yourself like that. It come with a lot of action. A lot of action. Yes. Sometimes you want to talk about your scary and how the relationship is doing. The enemy relationship. The scary relationship. You say, girl, me pass you like exam. Me pass you like exam. That means you pass you so well fast. That's part of scary allergy. Yeah. What's the other thing that I say? I'm scared don't talk. You I mean even vumps panchy. Vumps. Vumps mean I don't even acknowledge her. No acknowledgement. She pass for grass. That is part of scary allergy. So, children can be innocent, but they can be pretty mean. But in all the meanness as related in this scary allergy, there are rules and there are rituals, and they mirror systems in our larger and wider communities. And so you ask yourself, where did children learn these things? But I feel they look at, they not even look, they observe, they assimilate the nuances of the wider society, and then it plays out at a miniature level before our very eyes. I don't know what teachers thought about that. You know, when I was a teacher, you know when people get scary, the schism in the class, because you get some people on this one side cutting up the eye pan them over there, and let me tell you, man, kotai. If you're not Guyanese, you don't know what kotai is. But kotai is this. Yeah, you watch somebody up and down so. Yeah, that's kotai. And that's where it's come. Me I'm scared, don't talk. Yeah. Me get one scary. And mind you, they can watch the person that was the best friend yesterday and look at them and say, me I'm scared, don't talk. Me I'm scared, don't talk. Yeah. Announcing. Or if they get in the mood, me get one scary, she good for throw. Yes, that's how they just do it. Wicked. So what happened there is ostracism. And ostracism is part of the bullying trajectory. Because sometimes people don't have to torment a person with taunts and hints to bully. You can ostracize to bully. It's one of those silent ones that's really bad. And so what happens to the person who gets a scary? Acid build up in the stomach, nervousness, you don't want to go to school and things like that. You don't want to go to school. Do we play these games anymore? I don't know. Were they good for us? I can't tell. Because, you know, I can't revise history. But all I can say, these were the things that were part of the formation of the village. And at the childhood level, the playground was the place where these identities were formed and played out. And the thing about it, it's a part of me, it's a part of you. And let's say you've become a scientist of renown. You had your scary days. Either you were a scary or you make somebody a scary. If you become, like me, a professor, I had me scary, and I'm pretty sure I make people scary too. So, all of these stories we carry, and they become our meter for how we make relationships with other people. Having a scary is not a bad thing, you know. I think you should get scary. Some people need to be made scary because sometimes they just become obligate parasite. Yes, obligate parasite means that they're taken from the host and they're not giving anything back. Yes. So these friendships can become very parasitic. And when you're caught in with people and you make negotiations with people to become friends, sometimes we have to know what kind of obligations we have to those friendships. And sometimes when they no longer suit us, we have to cut them off. You know, if they're hurting you and so on, you gotta renegotiate and say, you know what? I can love you at a distance. I gotta love you at a distance because this has become something that can hurt. But those are the things we learn down there in the playgrounds and the pastures of Guyana. It gives us some tools for life that we can make friends and sometimes we can lose friends. And sometimes you have to take deliberate steps like these kids would do. Take deliberate steps. I don't know what kind of gumption or what kind of a inner strength you got to have to walk up to your confidant, your bestie for how many months or days or whatever, and tell them, let me cut out. Children had gall. But you know, sometimes as adults, we don't want to do that. We don't want to cut up with people. It's such a hard thing to do. And maybe, I'm not saying that maybe as children it wasn't hard to do. I'm pretty sure it was hard to do. But you know what? Sometimes they have the community that support because maybe when you're cut out, you got another person to lean on. You know, the good part about cutting in for friendship, it allows young people to find space and find like-minded people to liaison with who got the back and talk about the bullies, right? Who ostracize. But let's say your child is a loner and your child get a BFA that are cut in for. You feel secure that this child now is not alone at school. And maybe this child won't be bullied by the big baddies. And when the mean girls come, she get a best friend to do that. But the flip side is just as easy because when you turn a person into a scary, you can become the mean girl or the mean guy or the bully. So that's what I have for you today. Click the button, follow, like, subscribe, and I will see you. And walk good. And join me during the week when I'm walking and I am finding my Michi. I'm talking about menopause and I'm going to address some of the myths about menopause that people have. Yes. So let me do that. Have a pleasant week and walk good.